Imagine it is 2085. The Earth is too loud, too hot, and way too crowded. But up there, in the silent gray vacuum, a new frontier's waiting for the desperate. Like you. You are 23 years old, and you feel like a ghost in a machine. Your apartment is a closet in a megacity that never sleeps, smells like ozone and wet asphalt, and the temperature hasn't dropped below 30 degrees Celsius in months. You spend your days fixing server drones, fingers greasy, back aching, watching billions of people fight for the same breath of air. Yeah, it is suffocating. You look at your reflection in a shop window, tired eyes, slumped shoulders, and realize something terrifying. If you stay here, this is it. This is the next 50 years of your life, just another face in the crowd, sweating and waiting to die. Shocking, right? The realization hits you harder than the humidity. You need out. Not just out of the city, but out of the gravity well entirely. The recruitment ad for the Lunar Helix Corporation flashes on a billboard, build tomorrow, today. It is barely a choice. It is an escape hatch. You sign the digital contract without reading the fine print. 5 years mandatory service, high risk, no return ticket guaranteed. But who cares? Anything is better than the noise down here. Training is brutal. They put you in a centrifuge until you throw up, then they put you back in. They test your psychological stability until you question your own name. But you push through because the alternative is going back to that closet apartment. Then comes the launch. The G-force presses against your chest like an elephant sitting on your lungs. You can't breathe. You can't think. You can only feel the vibration rattling your teeth. And then silence. Absolute, heavy silence. You unbuckle and flow. 0G. For the first time in 23 years, the weight of the world is literally off your shoulders. Looking out the porthole, you see it. The moon. It is not a romantic glow-in-the-night sky anymore. It is a massive, scarred rock face waiting to kill you or make you. Landing is rough. The retro rockets fire, shaking the hull, kicking up silent plumes of regolith. When the airlock cycles and opens, you step out onto the surface of Shackleton Crater. The gravity is weird, 1/6. You feel like a superhero and a toddler at the same time. You take a hop, soaring slow and high. The landscape is desolate, gray, and sharp, shadows darker than anything you have ever seen. But as you look back at the Earth, that massive blue sphere hanging in the ink-black sky, you take a deep breath of recycled air. You made it. You are not just a drone mechanic anymore. You are a pioneer. And for the first time, your heart isn't racing from anxiety. It is racing from anticipation. 6 months in, the novelty of low gravity, gone. Now, it is just a hassle keeping your coffee in the cup. The silence that felt peaceful at first now feels like a heavy blanket trying to smother you. You realize quickly that space isn't about adventure. It is about dust. Sharp, gray, microscopic glass that gets into everything. Your bed sheets, your food, your lungs. It smells like gunpowder and tastes like old pennies. You wake up to the same amber alarm light. You eat the same rehydrated algae paste that pretends to be eggs. You suit up. That suit used to feel like armor. Now, it feels like a coffin. You march out to the helium-3 extraction fields. 12 hours of drilling into rock-hard ice. Your muscles ache. Not from weight, but from the resistance of the pressurized suit. You start to doubt yourself. Was this a mistake? Down on Earth you were bored, sure, but you were safe. You had real rain. You had wind that wasn't deadly. Here, one mistake cracks your visor and your blood boils in seconds. Then, Tuesday happens. Just a routine rover patrol along the rim of a shadow crater. You are 3 kilometers from the base when the ground gives way. A lava tube collapses under your front wheel. The world spins. Metal screams against rock. The rover tips, slides, and slams onto its side in the darkness of the crater floor. Silence. Then the hiss of leaking air. The main power is dead. You are hanging sideways in your harness, blood rushing to your head, panic spikes in your chest. The temperature gauge on your wrist is dropping fast. -100. The battery casing is cracked. Life support is running on emergency reserves. You have 20 minutes of heat left before you freeze solid. You reach for the radio. Static. The crater walls are blocking the signal. Nobody is coming. Not in time. You could just hang here and wait for the cold. It would be easy, but something inside you snaps. A cold anger. You didn't fly 384,000 kilometers just to die in a tin can. You fight the harness release. Click. You drop awkwardly onto the side window, which is now the floor. It is pitch black until you smack your helmet light. The beam cuts through the dust. You need to bypass the main power coupling under the dash, but the dash is now above you, crushed against the seat. You have to twist your body, jamming your arm into a space meant for wires, not a pressurized glove. You can't feel your fingers. You are blindly stripping wires with a jagged piece of metal, sweat stinging your eyes. Connect. Spark. Nothing. Come on, you scream, your voice deafening in the helmet. You twist the wires together again. Harder. A spark flares, blue and angry. The emergency lights hum back to life. The heater kicks in with a groan. You slam the rover into reverse, tires spinning against the crater wall, throwing up rooster tails of dust until they catch grip. The rover scrapes, tilts, and claws its way out of that pit, back into the sunlight. When you roll back into the base airlock, you are shaking, not from fear, from adrenaline. You strip off the suit, you look at your hands. They are bruised, dirty, and trembling. You grab a pouch of water and drink it in one gulp. You look out the window at the hostile gray landscape. It tried to kill you today, and you beat it. You realize then that the bored kid from Earth is dead. He died in that crater. You are something else now. You are a survivor. 40 years blink by faster than a shutter click. You are 63 now. Your hair's the color of the regolith outside, silver and white. You don't walk with the bounce of a 20-year-old anymore. You have the lunar shuffle, that sliding, graceful gait that only the old-timers have. Gravity hasn't crushed you. It has stretched you, made you taller, leaner. You stand on the observation deck of Sector 7. It isn't a cramped tin can anymore. It is a city under glass. Beneath you, you see the green glow of the hydroponic farms. Acres of corn and tomatoes growing in soil you helped create. You smell the moisture in the air. It doesn't smell like recycled sweat anymore. It smells like rain and wet earth. A smell you haven't realized you missed until you engineered it back into existence. A transport shuttle docks silently below. A fresh batch of recruits stumbles out. They look terrified. Pale faces, shaking hands, eyes wide as saucers. You see a kid, barely 22, tripping over his own magnetic boots. He looks just like you did, lost, scared, wondering if he made a mistake. You walk down to meet him. You don't say much. You just put a steady hand on his shoulder. Breathe, you say. The first week is hell. The second week is work. The rest, it's home. He looks at you like you are a legend, and maybe you are. You look at the plaque on the wall, Founding Crew, 2085. Your name is third on the list. You walk home, not a bunk, but a real home. Your wife is there, waiting. She was a geologist who came up in the second wave. You raised 2 kids here. They have never felt Earth's gravity. They have never seen a blue sky, only the infinite star field, and they are stronger for it. They are the first true lunarians. That night you sit by the main viewport. Earth is full, hanging huge and bright in the sky. Down there, the megacities are still choking, the heat is still rising, and people are still fighting for space. But up here, it is quiet. It is clear. You look at your hands. They are calloused, scarred from decades of welding, digging, and building. These hands didn't just fix servers. They built a world. You remember that terrified boy in the apartment closet, desperate for an escape? You want to tell him it was worth it. Every bruise, every frozen moment, every drop of sweat. You didn't just survive the moon, you tamed it. You take a sip of real coffee grown in Crater 3 and smile. Yeah, you are home.